Magic Tower. Today I will be reading maybe other things, but from my best-selling collection, The Starlight Still Within Us, a poem that feels appropriate today. Today is my dad's birthday. So yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of him passing away, and in some ways it's nice that all comes at once rather than like part of the year and then another part of the year. It's also my brother's birthday, so this will be the second birthday he's had without his birthday buddy. How old is my brother? 5 years younger than me, so 34 turns today. I've got my tea here, and this is something I do every morning. So these are waterproof Coleman camping matches from my dad's camping stuff. So I think about, as I light a candle for him on his birthday, how he would have lit these matches when he was camping, canoeing. See, beautiful metaphor and all that. Happy birthday, Dad and Jacob. Let me know in the comments if you have this book. Also, here's a link, guys. Oh, that's not the link. I think it appears on your screen. If anyone feels the call today to step in and step up and help the kids, we are looking for a new sponsor today for the kids. Pour our tea so we don't oversteep it. The title poem off the collection, The Starlight Still Within Us, from The Starlight Still Within Us. What did we do to end up here amongst all this perishing? Have you heard what the violin says to the cello in a minor key? We are squirrels wintering, forgetting where we hid our chances of surviving the cold. We are cheering for our teams, forgetting the cookies Grandma left on the counter with such intention that we should really be phoning her in a long forgotten memory. And if I could call the dead, I'd ask for a phone from 1963. I'd ask to speak to my 4-year-old father. That's an age when he wouldn't forget that this happened. A call from Mark, that's enough to make a 4-year-old in the 60s go berserk. And once a kid goes wild, they never go back. Who is it? Why, it's your son from the future, calling on an iPhone. In 1963, there'd be a vast enough space between him and his adulthood that he'd never be so sure what this memory is and raise me into an eternal question. Was it really I who called? Is this reality really this adrift in a sea of unsolvable mysteries? If we can raise children, why not the dead? We are molded from wet clay and then set to dry to become a container that confines the cosmos into a little pot that you can use as a vase for flowers, if you like. Be the only one anyone knows who tells everyone, I bet you look nice in your underwear. No, tell them, I'm not flirting. I'm not from this world, you see. I'm just here for all the free oxygen. You heard it here, folks. Misery is our sister and sorrow is our friend. A sea-bound breeze once told me that this world was an oyster's aroma, wafting over a rusted dock on the shore of this way or that. The rust proves this shit's been going on for a long time. They say rusted toasters burn bread. But I have had toasters who followed me around for years without making a single breakfast. Their murky aluminum carrying crumbs from long lost lifetimes I wasn't invited to. Toast that's too toasted becomes burned bread. And that's all you need to make a dog your best friend. Oh, my friends, I have known the aftermaths and the forethoughts that swore they could see ahead. I have seen the sincerest smiles from the faces that should have frowned. One of those is my own. Please, don't come in with a new belief system. We just clean the carpets. I'm still trying to figure out how to stand straight in the storms without being struck. Just teach me how to be kind. Teach me how to be together with the world. Show me how to hold her hand like cradling a baby bird with a broken wing. She heals, she will fly. This naked, broken thing may just become a beacon in the clouds. What but a lot more loving would we be if we could see everything? The feeling of feeling every pinprick being pushed into being. Do you still want to know what it's like to be God? How can we be kinder? How can we care more? How can we convince ourselves to start looking out for everyone? Love once asked Patience what she was waiting for. Patience smiled. You, she said. We are all talking to the whole world but stuck in a giant web. If we can put on masks together, we can take them off one by one until all that's left is a smile. Please unmask yourself before unmasking others. We can unwrap each day like a worn-out belief system and find the hilarity below it all. Life, you're hilarious. All your sounds and colors and gags. You're a gambler in a 10-gallon Stetson with polka dot pants who goes all in without ever having been dealt cards. But I see you. I think I know what you're going for. If we can laugh about anything, wear your gyrating grin for God. Hell, wear it in heaven. Show it to the burned pasta and destroyed temples and broken artwork. The heart work is in the hearing. The hearing is in the listening. The listening is in the legend that once upon a time a rocket ship made out of words brought us to life, and from pathos came ethos and egos and hard work and scattering and scavenging the ditches for ideas that will teach us how to touch the starlight still within us on this journey back home, where it feels like our parents have locked us in a room full of brownies and scorpions. It's scary and delicious, scarring and delightful, terrifying and terrific. If we get out of here alive, we are going to be so full of festive feelings that the future will have to wait. If you ever hear from the future again, tell him we'd like our money back. Tell him we're a little busy caravanning through the cosmos to talk to someone we only met once. Tell him not to come around here no more. Tell him we're not interested in anything we can't hold and touch and cherish. Tell him we made a bet with destiny. Tell him we're sure we'll win. It was one of those rare kind of inspired poems that all came through just in one sitting. Let me know in the comments what's in your cup this morning. And I do have a link if you want to check out this collection. I really love this collection of poetry. Now I'll read from my handmade collection in India. I made 100 of these, so this is 35 of 100. And I'll read, got these images in it. I'm thinking of maybe releasing it as like a normal collection that you can get on Amazon. But I also like the fact that this is the only copy I have, and there's not many copies of this in the world, only 100 of these handmade books. This isn't my favorite cover. The red paper didn't really let it pop that much as the white paper did. Awake, dear one. Let the storms pass through you without raining down on anyone. Receive another's sorrow in extended hands. Drop it in the raging river so it may enter the great sea where all things gather and wash into each other and away. Keep the body light in the marketplace where everyone jockeys for a position. Find a humble dwelling in your heart. Sit down and prepare tea for tired pilgrims. Look outside at the sunlight warming the seeds of what's to come. How long will the world tangle things? How far must everything fall before we start the great climb? Carry the answers to these questions like hidden lamps brought from the safest sanctuaries your seeking will find if you can silence the crowd of reasons to create anything less than a temple of this life. Use what materials you have to craft a cradle from which the accumulating inspiration to move stones gathers and blooms in the field of your heart. I'll read one of my favorite ones. I wrote this poem in Neem Karoli Baba's ashram in Kanchidan, India. And it's simply called, oh, this is a little one I like. I was in a 6-day silent retreat in Kasar Devi, and this little mosquito came to join me for tea. And you know, when you're in that sort of space, you become so much more aware of the little things that sometimes you speed on by in this ever-speeding world. Okay, cool. You have number 43. Well, I hope you like the red. I like the white more. I do not know her. This morning a mosquito joined me for tea. She was cold from the night and resting still on the balcony's railing, basking in innocence in the warm aroma of oolong. Her eyes were grains of sand, her features delicate as coral, like the porcelain between my fingers, smooth glass, intricate pattern. But for that single moment of her life when she does what she must do to produce her offspring, I do not know her. But for the battlefield where we meet in the evening light, I do not know how she spends her days or where she sleeps at night. I know only that once we met on a misty morning, both at peace amid the many dangers for one so small in a huge and hungry world. Yeah, Maureen, the little things that make a difference. Welcome. Hi, Lotus. Hi, Shannon. I'm Missy. Hello, everyone. I'll read one more. This is a photo I took in Kanchidan, so that's where this poem was written. Let me know in the comments if you've done that. Words written in Neem Karoli Baba's ashram. Like snow peaks, like things I love, like lakes, forests, and hills, like the blue sky that cleared this morning's rain, like the thumbnail moon and the finger pointing to it, like the heart racing through it, a mind pacing its steps. What fortunate few we are to have heard of these things and not held them in doubt, to have not entered some discussion, to not need to reason about what is, to neither get lost here nor make it more than it is. This mysterious life, it's so ample. As these words stain a blank page with one person's mind at one point in placeless time, a woman goes to ring the temple bell and a 500 rupee note drops from her purse. A little girl jumps and races to retrieve it to return it to her. The woman receives it at first with surprise, and then her face mirrors the little girl's grin. This moment is the most beautiful thing there is and could ever be. When I get up from my notebook, I ring the same bell and bow before the Hindu deities. I tried sincerely in my youth to play the game of spirituality the way the priests and parents planned it. But you can lose yourself to others' well-meaning games. But if you are among the blessed, one day a bell will ring for you that becomes the only sound you hear. Its vibration will shatter all doubt. Whether you grow out your hair, shave your head matters only to outside eyes. Yours will see something new that will renew and renew, and you'll have nothing to hold on to because you'll keep moving away from where you are towards where you have yet to be. Within that motion will be all that's alive as you leave the known world, headed towards the one that knew you'd find a way to it. This distant, familiar place you cannot reach with hands full of what others said was true, without knowing if it was true for you. If anyone's familiar with the Cold Mountain poems of Khan Shah, I've been really into reading that lately. So these were Taoist Buddhist hermits who lived in the mountains of Cold Mountain in China. And they would write their poetry on cave walls, graffiti walls, and Those times in China were very akin to our own times today. There was a lot of war. There was a lot of loss of there's deep cultural things that make the world go round. So I'll just read one at random. Then we have our little penny children, so I guess I'll read this. But then I have to prepare. I have a coaching call with the writer, Sally, from the Zen Sanctuary in Washington for the children's book. From Hanshaw. There's a wise man who makes a meal of rosy clouds. Where he dwells, the crowds don't ramble. Any season is just fine with him. The summer just like the fall. In a dark ravine, tiny rill drips, keeping time. And up in the pines, the wind is always sighing. Sit there, in meditation, half a day. 100 autumn's grief will drop away. Yeah, that's the neighbor. That's the construction noise. There's always construction noise in the valley. Hello, Mr. Roger. Good morning to you. Let's do one more. Oh, wise gentlemen, ignore me, like I ignore you fools. I'm not stupid. I'm not wise. From now on, I'm just gone. Into the night, singing in the moonlight, into dawn, dancing with the white clouds. That's the way to occupy your hands and mouth. I can't just sit still while my hair grows. I'm really excited. I guess I've been returning to these poems because I'm overdue for a retreat into the mountains. So I'll be going. I have a secret place way up in the mountains, and on Wednesday I'll be going there till Saturday. I love foraging when I'm there, living off the land, and I have to go start preparing my research for the coaching call. So one thing I provide for writers is content editing. I also do copy editing, but I don't really love that. It's a children's book, so it should be okay. And then I research the materials they need to submit to publishers, synopsises of chapters and books, cover letters, and then I research publishers where it might be viable. Yeah, I hope you do ring the bell. I'm actually thinking of selling that last singing bowl from that first trip to India to help fund my fundraising trip for the Integral Heart coming up in June. So it's really all hands on deck. Right now we are using emergency funding because Mick and I came to the agreement that it was too soon after so many fundraisers from our deficit drive fundraisers to do our planned fundraiser for Mother's Day. So what I'll be doing is riding out my mom's house for one last party, and I'll be spending a month in the States with a very ambitious goal to raise $40,000 over the month of my 40th birthday. That will get us a little bit ahead of the game, and I'll be working to bring new sponsors into the cause for the kids. So this would be a really easy way to help us get closer there. And stay tuned. I got something really exciting I'll be launching either later today or tomorrow with Saul. And a lot of you buy my poems, my books, my tea, such things, Karuna Honey. So I'm going to be taking my Patreon page and creating a tea-scription where every month you get a tea, a poem, an unreleased music track with a private link to it, and other little treasures we create here at Karuna. So rather than trying to sell those things every month that I produce, we will simply have a subscription where you'll get that, and that will be $33 a month. It will be hooked up, and there are a few people that do support me on Patreon at $20 a month. So if you are one of those, I'm gonna grandfather or grandmother you in, so you'll get that every month at the level you are currently supporting. All right, let's do Pema Children Roulette and see what she has. May what we turn to serve us this day. When anger arises, remember to pause. From Pema Children. When you feel like a keg of dynamite just about to go off, patience means just slowing down at that point, just pausing instead of immediately acting on your usual habitual response. You refrain from acting, stop talking to yourself, and connect with the soft spot. But at the same time, you are completely and totally honest with yourself about what you are feeling. You are not suppressing anything. Patience has nothing to do with suppression. In fact, it has everything to do with a gentle, honest relationship with yourself. If you wait and don't feel the rage with your thoughts, you can be very honest about the fact that you long for revenge. Nevertheless, you keep interrupting the torturous storyline and stay with the underlying vulnerability. That frustration, that uneasiness and vulnerability is nothing solid, and yet it is painful to experience. Still, just wait and be patient with your anguish and with the discomfort of it. This means relaxing with the restless, hot energy, knowing that it's the only way to find peace for yourself or the world. Aho Pema. I've also been reading a lot of, it's one of the greatest works of literature in the world, The 100,000 Songs of Milarepa. It's very long. It's less than 100,000, but yeah. This world is very fast. And on the treadmill of life, one of the quotes from Milarepa is, "The affairs of the world are endless. Do not cease in the practice of meditation," or whatever your practice is, prayer. Meaning there'll always be a reason why not. There's someone I know from Bismarck today, my hometown, coming for 4 days to Karuna. She's a young woman. I'm very proud of her path. I met her last summer, and she's really taken steps to step into her own life path rather than being caught away in the expectations of others, parents, and the world. So I think as long as we're racing so quickly on the treadmill of life, we don't really ever put our life into context and perspective. So even me going up into the mountains this week for 3 days of retreat, it's like sometimes I feel like there's too much to do. I need to start preparing and organizing my next trip to the States. There's so much to do here, but the affairs of the world are endless. So do not cheat yourself out of the chance to really drop into the center of your centers, and from that place live your life. Thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna go check in with the workers now and wrangle up some breakfast from the chickens in the garden. I really love, it's been a long journey, but I'm basically not grocery shopping at all anymore. I just eat what I produce here on the land, and I really encourage, it's spring in America, so I always feel bad when it's fall and coming winter, encouraging people to garden. But tear up your front lawns, plant a garden, do something useful with that space. It's interesting how I feel like no one really learned anything from the pandemic. It's like everyone just went back to how they were living before, but that might have been our test run for the uncertainty of the world. I have read English. You want me to read it now? I can stay for a moment. Let me see if I have my manuscript here. I must have it here somewhere. You guys see the view out here. It's a beautiful morning. Well, Shannon, my manuscript is currently among the things that I don't know where they are. But yeah, next time I read poetry like this, I'll definitely read English about your beautiful chocolate lab. And when I'm in the States, I'll be sending you the handwritten one of that. So, thanks for being here. Wishing you all a beautiful day from my heart to your heart.